Okay, now we're getting somewhere. You've got this sentence that you can say in a female voice reliably. Now we're going to start adding a little bit of inflection to it. Women's voices are more sing-songy than men's. Like, men have a narrower range of notes available to them when they're speaking usually, where women's voices tend to go up and down and all over the place. So we're going to start adding that into our voice now. So I'm going to say our mantra, this is the voice I want to use, over and over again, but with different inflections. And I want you to try to mimic what I'm doing. So turn on your recorder, I'll say it, then you say it, and then listen back and see if you're matching up with what I'm doing. Okay? Here we go. This is the voice I want to use. 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 Very good. So now that you're getting the hang of inflection, we're going to try practicing that even more, because women's voices tend to be much more sing-songy. They tend to have a lot more range in them. So taking our mantra and just saying it as various sentences, try to make it even more sing-songy. So it's like, this is the voice I want to use. This is the voice I want to use. And really try to work your range quite a bit. And listen back to them. There's going to be places where it's going to sound a little odd, and just sort of work on those and try to get them to sound better and better. One really good trick that you can try is kind of talking in a Valley Girl voice, because what it does is it forces you to go up talk at the end, they call it. So when you say, like, this is the voice I want to use, you see how on use I went up like that? If you practice that kind of stuff, it helps you work your way up into your upper register without it sounding so false. So it's an exaggerated, accent, but it's a good practicing thing. And then you can back down from that later, just like our breathiness. Okay, we're really getting some progress here. At this point, you've learned pretty much all of the tips and tricks that I have to offer, but there's a few more exercises that can be really helpful for you. The first one I want to talk about is finding your own little mantras that you can do. I really do recommend that you stick with, this is the voice I want to use. But you should also come up with some little sayings that have meaning to you. I wouldn't pick things that are rhyming or verses from songs, because you don't want something with a rhythm to it. You want something that's prose. Like, I'm going to give you a couple of examples that you might use that I really like. This is a quote from Simone De Beauvoir. One is not born a woman, one becomes one. And you can do the same thing that we were doing with this is the voice I want to use. The next one is a quote by Anais Nin that I really like. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. I think both of those are great for our community, and also sort of, uplifting things. So if there's something uplifting that you want to use, go for it. I suggest finding something that's positive if you're going to be saying it over and over again. And it'll help you mentally, and it'll also, just give you another thing that you can practice with. The next thing that you might consider is a longer sort of mantra thing, a series of words that you know by heart, so that you can say them, and then the words eventually kind of, are syllables, but has that longer thing so that you can work on your endurance. For instance, if you're feeling patriotic, you could do the Pledge of Allegiance. Maybe there's some passage from a novel or a short story that you really like. Anything like that. Even a longer quote can be great. Now, you've been using your tape recorder to make all these great advances. What I want you to do now is start to take pieces from the newspaper and just do cold reads. Just read it without ever having looked at it before. Because what this forces you to do is you're concentrating on the words and you're not thinking about your voice. So if you're recording a cold read, you're going to sound exactly how your voice is just naturally going to go. So if you've been practicing enough, by this point, your voice should be just naturally going to your female range. The next thing I want to work on is laughing in a sentence, because one, it's much more feminine if you're sort of smiling and bright when you're speaking. And one of the easiest ways to feminize your voice, once you find your resonance, is to add a little bit of a laughter to it. So we're going to try a couple of different sentences, and I want you to try to incorporate your laugh. Now, laughing is not an easy thing to get down because you probably are going to go into your falsetto. And the other tricky thing is that a laugh is an involuntary response. So you have to condition yourself to laugh in a female manner. So you might need to go practice that on your own. Let me kind of show you how I laugh, and then we will try it in a sentence, okay? So when I'm laughing at the end of a sentence, what I kind of do is this sort of and it sounds kind of funny by itself, but it lilts up at the end. So it's and that at the end it goes up into falsetto is actually what makes it seem very female. Another thing that you can do is laugh at the beginning of a sentence, so you kind of start off with a and all of these sort of laughters are very feminine cues to people in conversations. So if you smile a lot and laugh and seem engaging, it's gonna help you a great deal in terms of getting acceptance from people, not just for a female voice, but just they'll be more interested in hanging out with you and speaking with you. So just try a few different kinds of laughs, and just work on getting your own laugh to where it's a natural sounding thing. You get the idea. So just practice that into your tape recorder and see what happens. Okay, now that you've practiced that a little bit, we're going to add our laughter into our sentence. So here we go. I'm going to just do a few and just to sort of, add it wherever you can. I'm going to do one at the end first. This is the voice I want to use. Great. Now let me try one at the beginning. This is the voice I want to use. Now I'm going to try one in the middle. This is the voice I want to use. Great. See, it's very easy. Just work on incorporating that into your speech patterns, and it's going to seem much more feminine, and it's going to be, just much more friendly too. So it'll serve you doubly.